Michael, welcome to Secrets to Scaling Online. It's really nice to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So about myself. I'm one of
About
the
specifically with Lalo.
yeah, Lalo. So I'm one of the co-founders, the president and CMO of Lalo. Lalo stands for Love All Little Ones, and we're a direct-to-consumer baby goods business, really focused on reimagining the way parents shop for their babies. So I oversee everything here in terms of marketing. So that's both paid marketing, organic events, community partnerships, creative, brand, you name it. But I also oversee all of our digital. So our e-commerce, our tech side of things as well also falls in my bucket. And of course, as a small team, we're a really small, nimble team here at Lalo. We touch every part of the business, and being one of the founders and making physical products. And my first time in my career making physical products, it's been exciting to figure out ways that our brand comes through in our physical products, which is very, very new for me in my career. But to see them out in the world, to see people using them, posting them on Instagram and showing their love is awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. That sounds like quite a role.
It's a lot.
You're taking
we're
a lot of
hiring.
Yeah. I bet you are. There's a lot of like C-suite kind of positions that you're taking up right now. Hey.
Yeah, probably too many. I think, most people will say that any good founder will find people better than themselves, and put their trust into them. And, we're at the process now where we're actually looking for those people. So it's time to offboard these things and give up some of my Legos, as they say. And, and find really smart, talented people that can do it better than I can.
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to ask you how you guys got started.
Sure.
Was there like a need that you guys saw? Like, was there a pain point or like how did it come to be?
Yeah. So the business started at a point where, so I have two co-founders, Greg and Jane, and the three of us together, we're kind of at different but similar points in our lives. Jane has two kids, a 3 and a 5-year-old, had been through the process of shopping for baby and toddler. Greg was about to get married, and my wife and I were just starting to try to have our first child.
Yeah.
And at that point, especially Greg and myself, it really started from a point of empathy for seeing our friends go through it and seeing how crazy it was. During that process, really being like, holy crap, we need to change this before we get there. And then in talking through with Jane, really understanding her personal experience and going through it. And it's very, very interesting, that the baby goods industry, because there's really no other physical consumer product or industry where there's so many purchasing decisions for products that you've never used before.
Yeah.
And you have no basis of comparison. You have no idea what you should buy, what you need, when you need it. And at the same time, you feel so lost and so disconnected from the brands that are out there. And the big box retail experience is completely broken in this category. You pretty much walk in and they ask you what your budget is. They don't ask you about your lifestyle, who you are, and really learn about you as a person or as a family or what's important to you. And that's really what we're trying to solve with Lalo. Like, our products are phenomenal. They're beautiful. They're functional. But what's really broken fundamentally is how people shop in this space and how little they're taken care of by the brands of yesterday. And we think the brands of tomorrow, Lalo, will really be there for the consumer, understand what they need, be there not only to help them find ways to work through the anxieties of becoming a parent, but also to celebrate in the joys of becoming a parent. So, when a parent reaches that milestone where, oh my God, or, the child reaches that milestone for that matter, of they're sitting up, they're ready to start solid foods. And that's daunting to a parent. What do I feed them? What about allergies, choking hazards, all these different things that you're already worrying about. And now you have to worry about what high chair you need. Yeah. That's crazy. Right. Yeah. So we think that should be the easy part. You should know about, you should be taken care of. You shouldn't just be able to talk to a brand when something breaks. Like, in this space right now, the only time the brands talk to the customer is when something breaks or if someone needs to register their warranty. That's it. And being direct to consumer, we're able to talk to customers every day.
Yeah.
We're able to understand their needs, their feedback on our products, the feedback on a brand, and they're even contacting us to just tell us how good they feel about, being a part of the Lalo family. Like
Yeah.
we have conversations like that. And, yesterday on Twitter, someone commenting that they got their package and just how incredible the customer experience was. And that was from every point of shopping through getting the package, opening it, how easy it was to put together, all of those things. And we want to make sure that every customer feels taken care of. Man,
that's inspiring, and I'm sure would be for a lot of people, especially people that we interview, right, and talk to. That's amazing. Can you talk a little bit about your the high chair?
Yeah. So the high chair, which is called the chair, it's actually a 2-in-1 high chair play chair. And one thing that's very important to us, and people always ask us, are you guys sustainable? Are your products sustainable? And yes, we do use sustainably sourced wood in the high chair. We use non-toxic materials. But one thing that we really, really set out in terms of sustainability is to make sure our products last. A lot of baby products end up in landfills because they're for a really, really concentrated period of time, and then you're done using it.
Yeah.
So for us, we wanted to make the high chair last longer. So it actually turns into a little play chair so they can use it all the way through toddler, through even like 6 or 7. They're starting to do little art projects, and they're eating snack or whatever it is. They're having a play date, and it can live on for many, many years, and be retransformed if you have another kid back into a high chair.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we launched that in July. That was our second product. It sold out within its first week. So we completely underestimated the demand that was going to be for this product. We sold out within a week. And then we've sold out of the white color, which has been the most popular, coconut it's called, of the chair every single month since launch. Luckily our inventory planning has gotten a little bit better. We're able to keep it, coming right back in stock right after it goes on back order. So there's not too much a delay for customers. But one thing that's been really helpful and something that we built in from the start is that people don't need a high chair until they hit that milestone of starting solids. But boxes for baby stuff are big. They're not small, right? And if you get it as a gift before the baby's born, there's a chance this product could be sitting in your house or apartment for 7 months, 8 months, 6 months. Yeah. And it's another coffee table at that point. It's not.
And for you in New York,
there's no other purpose.
I'm assuming
especially for us.
Yeah.
New Yorkers don't want these boxes. But even like, if you have a garage where you can store it, like you still don't want it, right? It serves no purpose until you need it. So we actually created the first of its kind service in this space called Shop Now, Ship Later. And what that does is when someone goes on to order our product, when they get to checkout, it actually asks for the due date or birth date of the child. And then our system dynamically recommends when they should ship it based on when they hit their milestone. So, and this is all data that, has been around for years. The CDC tracks these, and, every child, for the most part, reaches these milestones within a certain margin, right? For solids, maybe call it 5 or 6 months, give or take a little bit, right? So we want to make sure for those that are advancing quicker can get there. And the customer can always change the ship date if they want to get it sooner or later, but we inform and help the customer at every step of the process. And that's just one way is making sure that the high chair gets there when they need it and not before.
That is such a great idea. Like I love how it's not like it's hard to find data, right? And it's probably not wasn't a difficult thing to actually implement, right? But actually having the wherewithal and also being your customer, I think really helps, right? When you're in that situation, and especially like with you 3 founders being in that kind of situation, probably really helps with those sort of things. That's something I would have never thought of. What now? I've got a personal question for you. What did you do before this?
So I did a lot of different things. My career was always revolved around entrepreneurship, around brand and marketing, but was in a ton of different industries. Directly before this, I was the head of brand marketing and partnerships at a tech company called Way Up,
Okay.
a venture-backed business in New York City. I was there. I was the fifth employee there and was there all the way through the Series B. And we were in the college recruiting space, so helping
Okay.
college grads get jobs and internships. And then before that, I had my own business that was a fitness membership tech, also fitness tech business that I did myself. I bootstrapped the business. Was really a great learning experience for me. And then before that, I was in sports and entertainment. So I was actually a sports agent and a music manager
No
for the
way.
beginning part of my career.
Yeah.
So very different, but in the same way, you know, I was helping up and coming musicians build their brands, understand what it took to get their name out there, acquire customers, in which case is a listener, right, or a concert goer. And you know, for me, you know, that's where it all started. I used to say to my artists, like, when you go and be an opening act on a show where there's a big time artist as the headliner, you're just selling yourself, right? If there's 1,000 people in the venue, if you can convert 10 of those into fans, that could be considered a win, right? Your job is just to get those 10, and then those 10 tell another 10, and that's just acquisition, referral marketing at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where it all started. But been in a bunch of different industries, been a very fun career, and somehow ended up in baby. But very excited. You know, my wife and I are starting our family now. I couldn't be more excited to be in an industry and solving a problem for myself and my friends and the, you know, the next generation of parents.
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. At what point did you guys know that this was going to take off? Like, I'm assuming you didn't just start out, you know,
Sure.
thinking like, oh yeah, we're just gonna we're gonna quit our day jobs and just do this. Or maybe
Yeah,
you
sure.
did.
So I think there, you know, I'm still humble. I still don't consider ourselves taking off. And I don't know if I ever will. I think one of our kind of company values is be better tomorrow. And that's because, you know, we always want to strive for greatness. You know, we're a 7-month-old business at the end of the day. We've been live 7 months. And
Wow.
most people come to us and say, I can't believe you've only been around for 7 months. And that's the kind of thing that makes me feel really good about the job we've done so far. You know, we quit our day jobs, to be exact and precise about your question, when we had our first prototype for our stroller. Once we got that product in, we said, this is actually going to be a real thing. And then we realized we can't make this a real thing unless we really invest time and money into making it a real thing. This is, you know, helping parents and doing it right is not a joke. And to be there and support in the way that we wanted to, and the big vision that we have for this business required a full effort. So that's when we knew we had to do it full time. But there's still so much for this business to scale, whatever that does mean for us, and so much opportunity ahead to realize the vision of Lalo.
Yeah. And are you guys just direct to consumer, or are you guys have you gone the wholesale route at all?
Yeah, so we are solely direct to consumer. We have our e-commerce store at meetlalo.com, but actually in New York we have a showroom. And we had this since launch. That's where I'm actually sitting today. It's our office in the back, but it's just a beautiful Soho loft where people can make one-on-one appointments to explore our products, to meet with one of us. You know, a lot of times they're meeting with one of the founders even to talk through the products.
Wow.
And that allows us to talk to our customers at such a deep level and give them the experience that's so differentiated from their last trip to a big box store, because likely that they have gone or will go to a big box store during this process. And it usually, we like for them to go first, because by the time they come into our doors, we wow them. They're like, oh, this is what it could be like to shop for baby products. And we want everybody to feel that at some point. So our hope is that we will, you know, roll out our own retail stores at some point, whether it be starting with temporary pop-up or full-time retail, who knows? And we don't ever shut any doors, but, you know, obviously the benefit of being direct to consumer for us is not simply about cutting out the middleman. That's not really what direct to consumer is about anymore. It's really about being closer to the customer.
Yeah.
And in this space, I think that's amplified.
Yeah, we're big fans of direct to consumer. I just can't say enough about being able to get that info from people and the feedback. Okay, let's talk about challenges. So far, what are the biggest challenges that you face? You've touched on inventory a little bit.
Yeah.
What else?
So inventory has definitely been a challenge, right? With no historical data to understand what your demand is going to be and the supply you need to have to do that. That's obviously a challenge, both from managing the customer's expectations of I want this product and I need to get it now, to the cash flow needed to support that, right? And then to support everything you need to do as a business. So inventory, obviously, as a hardware business, having hardware goods that you sell, it's important to overcome that obstacle. I would say, for us, obstacles, have definitely been, how do we really show that we're different? And I think we've done a really good job at that. And that's really from a brand standpoint. Can we get people to buy into the brand? And one thing that's been really helpful is that we've had a lot of celebrities and influencers buy into the brand on their own.
Awesome.
And that's been exciting, where we get a DM from a celebrity with 25 million followers on Instagram. And they're like,
Crazy.
I love your high chair. Can I have it? And we're like, yes, please. and you talk, like, I get hit up by an influencer marketing agency or someone that has connections to celebrities every day. And the real influencer marketing is when you create true lovers of your brand and your products.
Totally. And then they reach out to you.
And they reach out to us. And that's been amazing. I mean, it happened with Jessica Alba. It happened with a few others. We've even had celebrities, most recently we had a pretty big celebrity who bought the product, and we saw her name come up and we were like, oh my God, it's like blew our mind.
Yeah.
That they could just buy the product. I think that was awesome to see. And I think in this category is really, really important, because the number one obstacle, I would say, actually, is that gaining trust and validation of parents. And how do you do that as quickly as possible? So that's what we look at as always the challenge of our business, is gaining trust and validation. And there's a million ways to attack that. And I think slowly but surely we are earning that trust and validation.
Awesome. That's great. Let's talk marketing a little bit here.
Sure.
What's the best marketing campaign that you've run so far?
The best marketing campaign we ran at Lalo so far. I mean, the launch of the chair was definitely the best campaign, and product launches are always exciting. That was really exciting because it was relied heavily on word of mouth without the product ever being out in the public. So we seeded the product to a couple core influencers about 2 weeks prior to going live.
Okay.
At that point, we put a wait list up on our website, and it was a standalone landing page. And we drove waitlist interests, a couple thousand on the wait list. And then from there, went live with a kind of this install base, if you will, of people that we could, email, put a message up on social, and convert. Of course, we can run them in an audience and do different things to target them with, paid social. But it was really, really key to kind of have that install base. And it really sparked the word of mouth early, having people interested before they even saw the product, like on a product page. Like they saw it for like 6 seconds on an Instagram story of some influencer, right?
Yeah.
That was important. And it really helped build the wait list. And then from there, once we launched, it really took off. But, and obviously having a strong base of press, celebrity, and influencer to kind of seed it out there and kind of build this bigger than yourself. It's, market. I draw a lot of my marketing philosophy from managing up and coming musicians, and some call it fake it till you make it when it comes to like an up and coming hip hop artist. But it's like in startups and in this space, it's about appearing bigger than you are.
Oh, totally.
It's about, and that was a big part of launching the high chair was, people feeling like this product has been out for years. I mean, we got a review in that where we were on a list of best high chairs, and they called us an all-time favorite. We had been out a month, so I don't know what all-time means, but we were out a month, and we'll take it. So like little things like that, that we can be all-time favorite over like the best-selling high chair that's been out since the 1970s.
Wow.
So that works for me.
So how does your paid social work with all of this? Like what's your percentage between, your paid media, your earned media? Like how does that all work?
Paid social is a very small part of our budget.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is very, very important for us. But, even, depending on what attribution model you look at, it's definitely playing a role in top of funnel awareness. It's helping get the word out there, and it's steadily growing. But it's definitely a unique industry. It's not like selling, some sort of tchotchke item that someone's just going to click and buy. It's not a $20 X that you can buy any day of the week.
Yeah.
So the tough thing about paid social in this category is building audiences more so than any other category, because you need to be pregnant or expecting a child in any other way, whether it be adoption or surrogacy or other forms of having children. So you need to be expecting a child. That's number one. And number two is Facebook pulled a lot of that data down.
Yeah.
So in terms of building audiences with no audience, as an early stage company, that's a challenge. How do you find those people?
Totally.
And one thing we did early to find those people is we just understanding the consumer journey. A lot of people's first place to go to find out about baby products is their best friend or their friend who's a step ahead of them and just had their kid, last year, or 6 months ahead of them, or a couple months ahead of them. And they go there and they ask, what did you do? So we did a lot of things early on with our stroller. When we launched the stroller, we marketed to people that already had strollers. So we had events, family events, where we knew people would be coming into our space, our loft in Soho.
Yeah.
With another stroller. And that was okay, because we said they're going to get to see and experience our stroller. We're going to add value into their life in one way or another. We're going to bring these people together. And then when their friend asks them about what strollers they should explore, they might recommend the one they have. But we've seen a ton of people come to us saying their friend that has another brand stroller recommended ours.
Interesting.
And they don't even own it. Yeah. So that to me is also speaks highly of the brand.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting so many ideas from you right now.
I hope. That's good.
It's great. Yeah, I feel like I've touched on a couple of the other questions I wanted to ask, but something like we like to ask everybody, you're on secrets to scaling. What's your secret to scaling?
Think big. Think at scale. So even if you're not at scale, if you think with scale, you'll scale faster. I remember I was chatting with someone, and they were asking me about my brainstorming process. Like when we're thinking about campaigns or when we're doing things, we always kind of approach things as if we had all the money in the world. So if we were the biggest company and had everything at our disposal, what would we do?
Yeah.
How would we approach things? And then from there, you can whittle it down. Now you say, okay, but what can we afford, or what dollar could we stretch?
Yeah.
And then that will help you scale faster, because you'll seem bigger than you are. You'll do things that look like you're more advanced than you are.
Yeah.
And no company just starting out, the word startup can have a positive connotation or a negative connotation, depending on who you ask. And but what every brand wants to appeal to or seem trusted and seem loved, and you can do that regardless of the scale that you're at. But seeming trusted and seeming loved creates an illusion or a perception of scale.
Yeah.
And I think that's I guess part of the secret.
Awesome. I've been hearing that lots lately with trust. And we've been talking about it with a lot of brands. Just like that, having that customer trust is so important, especially for when you're launching new products, right?
Yeah.
That they know that they can come back. This is the last big question for you here.
Sure.
I've really enjoyed this, by the way. Like
yeah, me too.
I'm super pumped, man. Like you guys are doing some cool things.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give to somebody just starting out? Like somebody who has, they just have ideas. They have no market proof yet, nothing like that. What would you tell them?
You just need to do it. You need to get your hands dirty and you need to just do it. There's no way to learn about your business or what's going to work or what's not going to work unless you do it. For us, when we started out, like I said, none of us, except for Jane ran product design and development at Warby Parker, but Greg and I, we never had physical product experience before. So when we were starting out, like we just needed to learn that space. There's a whole new language. And now both of us are super proficient in the world of manufacturing and product design and, can speak to some engineering things, or we're not product designers, we're not engineers. And we don't manufacture products ourselves. I don't go home into a workshop and build things, but we can speak the language, and we know we can walk the walk and talk the talk in a different way. And there's so much learning curve in any business that you don't understand unless you're actually doing it.
So just tell them to get the product to market. Just get out there.
Just do it. Whatever you can do to get the product, or whether it's a tech company or a hardware business, consumer product, whatever it is, get going. And that doesn't mean, and I don't want this to be perceived as any sort of privilege either, because, you need to be able to fund a business and get going. And, we did not self-fund this business. We had, in order to do it, we got people to believe in us, and our outsourced product development folks that worked with us from day one were working on a deferred payment and for some equity. And we, got people to give us favorable payment terms, assuming that we would get some fundraising, do some fundraising at some point. So those initial days of just doing it, we're getting people to believe in us and believe in our vision. And if you have enough conviction around an idea, you can get enough people to have conviction about you.
Awesome. This was great. Super informative. We're going to move over to our little lightning round here. I got a couple of questions here. No pressure. Okay. I just have three quick questions for you. What is your favorite tool or app? The one that you can't live without?
I would say that right now it's probably the Gmail app on my phone.
Gmail, okay. Do you use like extensions on there? Or is it just...
I do on the desktop, but even the Gmail for iOS, I can fire through. I'm big inbox zero kind of guy.
Yeah. So am I.
And I can just fire through archiving and snoozing and replying and just on the go. And I find that to be a great app. Although my co-founder Greg is trying to convert me to Superhuman, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of Superhuman. Let's talk favorite book.
Getting to Yes.
Who's that by again?
It's a book about negotiation. So it's about how to enter any negotiation or conversation or confrontation, and that can be both about internal external, and it can apply to your personal life too. So relationships and things can be very helpful. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the author right now, but it's a famous, like, this is not a new book. This is like what they've been using to teach negotiations for years and years and years.
Okay. Nice. Awesome. And then who's the founder that you look up to the most?
That's a great question and so hard to answer. The founder that I look up to the most. I look up to any founder that doesn't take venture capital money. There are so many founders that have been able to really stand by their convictions and get things done in different ways and have certain discipline about their business. But to give you a more concrete answer, who do I look up to?
It's kind of a tough on the spot question, so I totally understand.
I may need a second. I don't want to say something too cliche, I mean, there are a lot of founders that I've connected with recently in the D2C space that are very, very impressive to me, about how they run their business, about the discipline for their business, their vision. One that sticks out and someone that I consider a friend and a trusted source, an advisor, is Reshma Chamberlain from Somersault. I think what they've done with that business and really knowing the identity of who they are is really impressive.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into them. Somersault.
Yeah, it's swimwear for women.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah. So it's an industry that's become kind of over sexualized, and it's more about just women having fun in the sun.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. That's awesome. And where can people find more about you and about your company?
Yeah. So we're on Instagram at Lalo, Lalo, and meetlalo.com. Those are the best two ways to find about Lalo. And I'm on Twitter at mwieder, Wieder. And anybody can always email me anytime. Love chatting with great, smart people. So Michael at meetlalo.com.
Cool. Totally appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right.